Hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And today is Monday after a 3-day retreat. Yes, we pulled off another retreat. It was the end of summer crop-tacular. We had a great time. Lots of laughter, lots of fun. We played some left, right, center, crafty left, right, center. That brought on lots of laughter, lots of energy, a little bit of frustration for those who weren't able to win or kept losing their products. If you haven't played that game, it is super fun. It's some dice. It has a dot on some of them. That's safe. That means you get to keep what you have. The star means it goes into the pot, and then left and right. Well, you're facing me, so left and right. Anyways, it was fun because you take your crafty items that you brought with you and you pass them in different directions. The last person with a crafty item in front of them is the winner. They get to pick their 3 favorite things out of the pot. Then everybody picks one thing and the winner goes home with everything else. Super fun. Lots of fun. We ended up playing 2 rounds of it, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, because everyone had so much fun playing that game. So let's get started today though. So I have just one card for you today that I worked on at the event. So I'm ready to share that with you. Here's our paper pumpkin. All you need is a pair of scissors. It's all inclusive. It comes to your mailbox. Yeah, everything's in it except for a pair of scissors. They're not going to send you scissors. So let's go ahead and get started. So it always comes with at least one Stampin' Spot, and I like to use my big one, so you'll see me use this. That's just more for convenience than anything else. In your very first kit, it comes with a block. You'll see me use these ergonomic blocks. You can see they're a little thicker, a little more comfortable for my hands to hold on to. Blocks are great, and I know many people will glue 2 of these blocks together, and that makes it nice and thick as well. Then we have our stamps, which say wishing you the happiest of days, thinking of you, thankful, and warm wishes. And then we have some leaves, and we have some pumpkins and acorns. Love the stamp set. All right. Then we have our no-fail instructions. This is one of my favorite parts. So for our make and takes this weekend, there were a couple of them that I used kits because they just make it so easy for people. Here shows the ingredients, although I usually tuck all that into the envelopes for them. And then it shows you what goes with it and how to put it together. Super easy peasy. And then what I do after I've made the first 3, each Monday we gather together and I show you some alternates that you could use with mainly the products in the kit, or using the add-on, which is this time around the hello, the flower, the leaf, the strawberry or acorn, and our circle. These are the next quarter's ones. I'll talk about those in a little bit. And so I like to use these because they are part of everything and they coordinate so well. So then we go on to the actual cards that were made as designed with our fox and our pumpkins, thinking of you, and we stamped our geese. Then we have this one, wishing you the happiest days. I did a boo-boo. These are all stamped full on. They were supposed to have been stamped off. Hello, Missy. Hello, Sharon. Sharon, Monday morning, aren't you in class or do you have a break right now? Great to have you here. Just wasn't expecting you. All right. And Missy, happy Monday morning to you too. It's been a great Monday morning already. I don't feel the usual retreat hangover, so that's awesome. I am a little bit tired, but not the usual blah, totally drained. I'm actually pretty pumped up, probably because I'm working so hard on that Alaska trip, and I have a lot of people who have been helping me placing orders and getting me closer and closer to the Alaska trip. So thank you to everyone who has been answering my call for help. It was not easy to do it, but Yeah, it wasn't easy to do it, and yet I'm glad because I really want that bucket list item. So back to this one. Every card that we did that day, I made a mistake. I forgot to stamp these, stamped them after I put the dimensionals on. That turned out pretty good. These were supposed to be stamped off, but they are full on. And then there was this one. Oh, I had the dimensionals in the wrong place. And I tell you this because I make the mistakes so you don't have to. And that's how that works. All right, and then last week we did some alternates. So I mixed and matched what was already there, and I embossed. So I don't know if you can see that. You'll be able to see it better from this side. I embossed the front cover and then flip-flopped it. So you can see originally it was like that. I put it on here, and then our little fox was over here. And then I die cut a couple Cajun Craze leaves to make it look like the leaves were falling and piling up. So that was that one. And then this one didn't end up being super basic, but it ended up being super fun. So I embossed the background. Then we did a blending brush with Cajun Craze and kind of added that colorful background there. Then I used the Hello die from this set, and I put it on the foam paper, the foam backing, so that it would be popped up and I didn't have to cut all the dimensionals and try and get them in there. The leaves are on dimensionals. I added 2 there, and then we added the pumpkins. And I thought that really, considering it turned out to happen on the spur of a moment instead of going with what I had originally planned, I really love how it turned out. And having that little bit of brushing in the background really made a huge difference. I love it. I trust you do too, and I trust that you give it a whirl. So I still have lots of ingredients in here to use, and we'll get to it. You can see here I started playing with the dies yesterday from the Fall for Toile, or from the autumn. Ooh, where is that? From the autumn. Nope. All right, so all my stuff is still in bags from having brought everything home, so I'm not sure where it is, but the stamp set that coordinates with this kit and the dies is what I started playing with here, but that's not our card for today. So I'm going to close this up. Here are the ingredients for our card today. Ooh. And I did a lot of the die cutting yesterday so that we wouldn't have to do it all today. So I'll show you that, but I do need to die cut the circle. And I've used this circle a number of times. It's just the perfect size circle. So I have it here. I'm going to bring over my mini, and we're going to go ahead and cut out this circle, but I do have everything else cut out. Let me think. It goes like this. So for this machine, we do 3, 2, and 2, even though it says 1, 2, and 2. That sandwich doesn't seem to work as well as this sandwich. So we're going to do this. All right, so Sharon made that whole kit yesterday, ended up with 12 cards. Ooh, did you cut some of these apart? Did you cut some of those apart? That's my next thought, is to cut some of those apart and make some more. So here we go. We have our wonderful circle, the stitch circle. I love it. And get this out of the way. And made your Thanksgiving cards with this kit, so I'm ready and early this year. Oh, awesome. School day, or fair day, no school, sweet, but not really a break. Have had Dad all weekend. Oh, well, is he still with you today? Trust me, I understand that, right? We are two peas when it comes to dads. They are very similar. All right, so before I put all this together, let me just show you. I cut 2 hellos. I did 3 acorns. We'll put those together. And then I cut a bunch of leaves. And then we have the ribbon from the kit. So I used mainly the dies today with one background and one ribbon. But before we do any of that, I want to get out a dauber. Here we go. And we're going, oh, wrong one. All right, hang on. Need to let, here we go. Need to let my friend know who gave me a grid to put in. So I got these and holders for my daubers, and she made me a grid of all the colors, except the colors have changed, but that has not. So I need to do that. So I have my Cajun Craze dauber. What I'm going to do is a little bit of distressing, because I don't know, this time of year just seems to call for distressing. So I just like to dab it on a little bit, going around, kind of making it look dirty and old. It seems like that's just this time of year for me when I get in the mood for that. All right, and this paper is actually from the Need for Tweed paper. I just love how it gives that texture. And we're going to go ahead and do that with our acorns. And I am using the Cajun Craze because that's the color that came in there. You could use other colors, but I'm going to go ahead and use the Cajun Craze. And it just helps give it a different look. All right, and sometimes this one, I didn't do that very, there we go. I wanted a little bit more distressing. There we go. Because, you know, acorns aren't totally just brown. They have some other colors. So we'll get some other coloring in there. And I just like using that. There we go. And I'm going to distress the outside of the card. All right, like this. And that just ties it all in. All right. There we go. Now, you could use your brushes for this, but I don't really recommend it. If you have some of the old sponges that we used to use, those are great too. These will wear down after a while. And of course, these are purple ones because I found purple ones. But Stampin' Up! Sells the black ones. So, but you know me, I see purple. And I got to go for purple. Heck, I'm even wearing my purple scrapbooking shirt today. Gonna do some scrapbooking. So this is Scraptember. So we're using scraps, and pretty much I cut all of this out of scraps. So I didn't show you that, but I promise you, Girl Scouts honor, I cut all of this out of scraps. Now, before we get to putting this in, I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the inside of my card with the little acorns. And I'm just going to do some acorns across the top. And then I'm going to stick some leaves in there. All right. There we go. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to actually put these two like that. So, like that, so it looks like it's falling. And do a few across the bottom. Oops. All right, I stamped that too quick. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. All right, and fallen off the page. Then we'll do this one, do that one right there. Stick that in there. All right, and it looks like this will fit right there. All right, so I just kind of across the top shortens the amount of space that I need to write. Some people I write long stuff to, lots of people I just do quick short little notes. All right, so yes, you did cut some apart. I figured you probably would, because that's what we know and love you for. You give us great ideas. I did look at this yesterday. I was like, ooh, I should cut that apart. And I thought, no, I've got this one idea and then I'll cut the others apart. All right, so this one, I'm going to be putting this here and cutting it off. And then this is going here. I die cut this one, but then it just kind of got lost on there. So I did a light colored, and yes, I should have used the adhesive sheets, but I did not because I always forget. So I am going to glue these together. So we're going to get out our silicone sheet, and I'm going to, where's my glue? I'm going to use the glue, and I think I'm going to put it on the back side of this one and lay it on top of that one. And not all, I like to just do, when I do it like this, I like to just do the thicker areas just to kind of tack it down. Areas that are a little bit thicker so I don't have too much glue all over. I don't want it to be, sticky all over the place. So I just kind of look for thicker areas where I can do the dot of glue. This one. All right, and then I'm going to use my tweezers to flip this over and line it up on here where it's got a bit of a light shadow. All right, and that light shadow then helps it be more visible. There we go. There we go. So we have a little bit of a light shadow, and that just helps it be a little more visible, like I said. So if you had a really light one and you needed a dark shadow, you could do that, but you can see now that it's a lot more readable with that lightness behind it. And then I need to glue my little acorns. So we're going to just do a line of glue across the top like this. All right, and then again, I like to come in with my tweezers. That's a little bit off. And that way I don't get glue all over this. I've done it without, and I've gotten myself annoyed because this is all sticky, so now I'm doing this. Put a sticky note on your machine that says adhesive sheet. It will make you stop and think if you need one or not. Oh, that's a good idea, Missy. Maybe I should do that, because I'm always skinny stuff. I'm always like, dang, when I go to glue it, then I'm like, I should have used the adhesive sheet. All right. So then I'm going to pop these over and put some dimensionals on there. Oh, do I have any? Nope, all I have is the sides. All right, got to do some cutting. There we go. All right, so I just go along and cut them a bit. Probably should have done it that way, but that's okay. All right, so now I just want to kind of, I know I'm going to put this here, and I want to just kind of lay it out. A little bit of overlapping of our acorns. Oops, wrong way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my circle. I've really fallen in love with acorns this year. I don't know what it is, but I just really have fallen in love with acorns. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea why. I think we're going to start with the center one there and then do the others. And one more. And I don't want it in the same direction. Oh, here, we'll just do that one kind of laying down. Oh, I like that. That came out good. Then we're just going to use dabs of glue on these leaves and kind of sprinkle them around. All right, so one of those right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I have 7 leaves. I want to make sure I had an odd number of leaves, right? Because I don't do even numbers. All right, so hello, Lala's Craft. Phyllis, hi there. Hugs from Maryland, thank you. Hello, Evangela. Thank you. Looks 3D. What looks 3D? Oh, the hello? Yeah, that's the whole point, is to try and get it to look a little bit on the 3D side of things, for sure. There we go. Oh, come on, glue. All right. So, just kind of randomly putting the, whoops, putting the leaves down, no particular spot, under wherever a little bit of overlapping is okay, just kind of random. All right, that one. And the last one. All right. There we go. Then what we're going to do is glue our ribbon on. Let's see. Here we go. Glue that on there. All right. So I don't like to use glue with ribbon. Huh. Oh, yay. Oh, just knock things down. My room looks like a tornado blew through with all of the craft weekend stuff on it. It is a huge mess in here. After I earn the trip, then I will clean it. So we're going to put our ribbon there, and we're going to use our wonderful, nice and sharp ribbon scissors to trim it off. There we go. And this side, I like to trim from the back side so I can see my border. There we go. And then we're going to put our hello on it. And yes, it would have been good if I had had the sticky paper underneath, but that's okay. I think we're just going to go ahead and go with the glue in the thicker spots like I usually do. This glue sticks so well that I'm really not worried about it sticking to the ribbon. It's going to stick beautifully. But I am happy that I remembered to use my silicone craft sheet, because that really helps keep the glue off your mat. Whether it's a paper mat, whether it's a glass mat, whether it's a self-healing mat, whatever the case may be. There we go. there is our card using those wonderful die add-ons. Some random leaves. I love that I decided to lay that down. It makes it look a lot less set up. And then I love the hello. And I think that the little light background really helped make it visible. All right. So let's see. We have keep your adhesive sheets with your plates. Well, the adhesive sheets are standing right next to the machine. They're right next to the thing that I have my dies in. I just don't think about it until I'm going to put the card together. And I was like, oh, glue. Yeah, that would have been good. Sharon says she used a lot of larger dimensionals instead of the minis. Yes, I tend to do that too. Use the larger dimensionals and keep the minis for when I have little things. I could have put some minis on the back of the leaves, but I kind of like having them flatter. They are cute. Also really like the acorns and pumpkin stamps in the set. Yes, I agree. What the color? The leaves are Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, and Old Olive. Those Old Olive is my go-to fall green. Cajun Craze is my go-to fall color. I pretty much only use it in the fall. And I used basic beige behind the hello. All right, so these are Crumb Cake, but I used basic beige behind the hello because I wanted it something a little bit brighter. Thank you, Phyllis. Glad you like it. Sharon says, mine too, and I did not have a craft event. Yeah, I did. We had a great time at the retreat. I'm already planning the next one, and there will be a virtual one with that as well. It's easier to do a virtual one in the earlier in the year than in the later in the year. So, but maybe we'll do a summer virtual one next year. All right, so this is our card for today, and I put it in, where's the envelope? I had an envelope, here it is. I put it in the envelope that